What is something about yourself that sounds totally made up but is 100% real? I'm directly related to William Henry Harrison, the 9th President of the United States, the one who gave the longest inaugural speech in history, without a coat, and then died of hypothermia a month later. He's basically the punchline of every presidential trivia game, and I'm in his bloodline. Unfortunately, that bloodline seems to carry a very specific trait: historic levels of dumb. My great-grandfather died from hypothermia too, but not in a dignified, standing in the rain, giving a speech kind of way. He wandered off during a snowstorm because he thought he heard his horse run away. He didn't own a horse. They found him 3 days later, half a mile from the house, face down in a ditch wearing only socks and long johns. My grandfather didn't talk about it much, but when he did, he called it our family curse. His son, my grandfather, also died from hypothermia, though to be fair, he made it to the hospital. He got trapped in his truck during a surprise cold snap after the battery died, tried to stay warm with a half-full flask and a Marlboro, didn't make it through the night. The truck was in walking distance of a gas station. We think he just didn't want to leave the truck because he didn't trust the town. He'd never been there before. Then there's me. I almost died from eating too many vitamins. I was 6. Flintstones chewables. I thought they were candy. I downed about 30 of them in one sitting while watching The Brave Little Toaster. I had no clue. They tasted like sweet chalk, and I was bored. My mom caught me trying to hide the empty bottle in the trash. The pediatrician told her to make me drink a ton of milk, and then took blood samples every hour for a day and a half. I didn't die, but I did throw up orange foam in the car and stain the backseat forever. A few years later, I jumped into a ceiling fan. Not jumped, and hit a ceiling fan. Jumped into one. I was 12, bouncing on my bed while listening to Sum 41, and decided it would be a good idea to launch myself upward while yelling, "Cowabunga!" I didn't calculate the fan spinning directly above me. Caught the blade right across the forehead, got 7 stitches and a tiny scar above my left eyebrow. The doctor asked if I had been horsing around. I told him I was trying to land a somersault. My mom still brings it up every Thanksgiving. Then there was the cliff. I was 19 and we were in Arkansas on a hiking trip. A bunch of friends and I had been drinking the night before and someone mentioned a nearby cliff people would jump off into the lake. It was maybe 40 feet high. I'm not afraid of heights, but I am very stupid. I didn't check the depth. I didn't check for rocks. I didn't wait for anyone else to go first. I just ran and jumped. Landed weird. Cracked a rib and bruised something in my back. I floated face up for about 15 seconds thinking I was paralyzed. My friend Connor had to swim out and drag me to shore. I refused to go to the ER until the next morning because I didn't want to make it a thing. The nurse who wrapped my ribs said, "You're lucky you didn't end up on the news." I nodded like that was a normal compliment. My dad once almost set a gas station on fire. We were on a road trip and he pulled into a tiny rundown gas station in the middle of nowhere. He decided to check the oil while filling up, left the pump running, popped the hood and dropped his cigarette straight onto the engine block. I swear I saw flame. He batted it away with a windshield squeegee and then dumped half a bottle of Sprite over the spot. Told me not to tell my mom. I didn't for 10 years. Sometimes I wonder if it's genetics or just stubborn pride that gets us into these situations. There's a long streak of "I'll be fine" in our family, usually followed by "I wasn't fine." I used to think the William Henry Harrison thing was funny. Now I think maybe it's fate. Some families inherit money. We inherited an instinct to ignore obvious danger and do something idiotic with full confidence. Honestly, I think our ancestors must have been the ones poking bees' nests just to see what would happen. I keep a jacket in my car now at all times. Not because I'm smart, just because I've read too many stories about myself already.